Yes, there are. There are basically three types of custody arrangements that are available to parents in Nebraska. You have the traditional custody role, which is sole custody to one parent, parenting time or visitation to the other non-custodial parent. That is the custody arrangement that most people want. If you have that arrangement, then the custodial parent has all the power. They get to decide all the day-to-day decisions concerning the child. They get to decide all the major life decisions concerning the child. The other parent essentially is a visitor. They still now, through legislation, have a right to be consulted with a major life decision, but the party who is the custodial parent gets to make the call. If you can get sole custody, certainly it's in your best interests to do that if you are seeking to have control. If you want to share in parenting time, parenting responsibilities, then sole custody to one parent or the other is not that arrangement. If you step back in terms of power and power sharing, the second type of custodial arrangement that we have out there in Nebraska is joint legal custody, but physical placement to one parent or the other. When you have joint legal custody, that means both parents get to share and have a voice in those major life decisions about the child. Major life decisions can be the child's religion, where the child's going to go to school. Is it going to be public school or private? Is it going to be Catholic or Lutheran? In terms of schooling, are they going to have tattoos? Kids are getting tattoos these days. That's an issue that comes up. How will the child wear their hair? All these things are decisions that in a joint legal custodial arrangement, the parents should be consulted with. Now, truth be told, when it comes right down to it, the parent that has the primary physical placement, if it gets into a situation where you have a one-to-one vote, their one might be a little bit bigger than the other. But in terms of where the child's going to live, or where the child's going to go to school, major life decisions, if the parent who has the primary placement is simply not cooperating and not willing to share that responsibility, if the other parent has joint legal custody, they have some rights that they can approach the court with to force the other parent to allow them to share in those responsibilities. Stepping down one further from that level in terms of power is what's called joint custody arrangement. I prefer to call that a shared custody arrangement because it becomes more clear. In a shared custody arrangement, you actually count days. One parent's going to have the children for so many days, and the other parent's going to have the children for so many days. While the child is with the one parent, that child makes the decisions. While the child's with the other parent, that parent makes the decisions. They share in everything. The joint custody arrangement, shared custody, has a tremendous impact on all aspects of how the child's going to be raised. If you have parents who can share in the raising of their child, then shared custody, joint custody, makes sense. You can do so in terms of 3 days on, 4 days off. You can do so in terms of a 50-50 division of time. You can do so with one parent having the child for one semester and the other one having it for the other, and then splitting the summers. The choices are endless. The choices are up to the parents. But that's how one can truly share in the raising of their child. It has a tremendous impact on the amount of money that changes hands. In a traditional role where one parent has sole custody and the other parent's a visitor, child support is determined based upon that parent having the child almost all the time. When you have a shared custody arrangement, joint custody, you actually count days. And if dad's going to have the child 155 days and mom something less or something more, during the time that dad has custody, mom has to pay dad. During the time that mom has custody, dad's got to pay mom. So what is done is a mathematical calculation that nets those two numbers out, and then whoever's going to pay will pay a much reduced number. If you have parents who can share, this is a role that works. And we pursue that vigorously here at County Poly Johnson.